Welcome at the session Robotics in Library, Programming with Lego, Mindstorms Robots. My name is Detlef Pfeifer. I'm head of the library at the Goethe-Institut in Windhoek, Namibia. I've been asked very often, why do you do robots and coding in the library with children? But library have always been themselves a place where knowledge is structured and communicated. In the course of technical progress and social exchange, new forms of knowledge acquisition have been added to the classic library service that convey knowledge with primary on printed medias. Libraries see themselves as a so-called third place where people can spend time and organize their leisure time in addition to their workplace and home. And programming or coding is the language competence for the 21st century. Teaching language skills is the core task of the public library, especially at the Goethe-Institut. The Goethe-Institut Library would like to present a low approach, open and accessible offer where families, in particular children, can gain their first practical experience with coding and robots. At the same time, we contribute towards to the Sustainable Goals development of the United Nations. In order to provide an easy introduction to the topic, the Goethe-Institut Library, in cooperation with Mindsinaction Group, ordered 2 sets of Logo Mindstorms, as well as a set of Dash robots, which we will see during the course of this session. With the introduction of robotic courses, we would like to create a place exchange where you can solve problems and realize your ideas. Among other things, the focus for us is on learning and trying out, developing innovations, solving problems, sharing skills and resources, hands-on creative work, and first of all, making things yourself. I would like to introduce you to our partner of the Mindsinaction Group, Mr. Ndaudika Mulundileni, and his business partner, Andreas Leonard, to give you an overview what robotic actually is and how it looks like. Welcome, Mr. Mulundileni. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
So you would like to show us a little bit what robotic is and how it looks like.
Yes, I prepared a 20 minutes presentation, so we can go into it.
Okay. So here we are. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay, so I'll be presenting on robotics in libraries, programming with Lego Mindstorms EV3 robots. This is a STEM initiative for children under the theme Inclusive Libraries and Information Services Towards Achieving Prosperity for Sustainable Development in Africa.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, my name is Ndaudika Mulundileni. I'm the managing director at Mindsinaction, and this is my colleague Leonard Andreas. He's the chief operations officer at Mindsinaction. So in August 2018, Mindsinaction joined the Goethe-Institut in Windhoek to offer a robotics course for children. Since we have started our partnership, we have enrolled over 50 participants from the community of Windhoek, and the interest has increased over time. So on the 29th of January this year, we had robotics free trials here at the library, and we had over 200 participants, which were divided into different slots to take part into the free robotics trials.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so our target audience are learners from from the grades of 1 to grade 8, and we divide them into groups of 2. And this year we have an intake of 10 participants that will be able to take part in the robotics program every Saturday from 10 to 12 for a series of 8 weeks. That means 8 Saturdays.
Mhm.
So in module 1, the following is covered. We use Lego Robotics. It's a resource from Lego Education, whereby we, at the center of the Lego resource is the EV3 brick, which is a programmable logic controller. So learners are able to write code and send it to the programmable logic controller that then controls the motors. You see on this side, there's 2 large motors. The learner can be able to control the speed and the angles of these motors. Then this side, there's also sensors that also the first one is the ultrasonic sensor that is able to measure distance. It's able to detect obstacles. There's a color sensor that is able to detect over different types of colors. It's able to measure light intensity. And then we have a gyro, which is used for more for stability. And then we have two touch sensors that are able to act more like a switch. And the Lego resource also come with extra sensors like temperature sensors, infrared sensors that can be used for different applications, whatever the learner decides to build. So in the module 1, the learners are exposed to the engineering design process, whereby they use the components that they are given, like motors and sensors, gears for power transmission. They are able to do basic mathematical calculations on friction, traction, and so on. So the learners are also introduced to the Lego Mindstorms EV3 software that uses blocks of code to program their robots. So if you see on the first blocks, you see the 50. That means the speed of the motor is 50, and on this side is 5. That means the number of rotations is 5. So if, for example, a learner wants to program their robot to go forward 100 centimeters, then they can then be able to calculate the circumference of their wheel and then be able to say, how many rotations do I need to cover a distance of 100 centimeters? So you see, it brings in the
Mhm.
mathematics that they are learning at school, and then they are actually seeing it practically.
So that is, if I may ask, the rotations, it's the rotations of the wheel they must count. And that gives you
Yes,
the
that is
length.
the Yes, so
Mhm.
if they know the rotations, if let's say if a wheel rotates twice, it covers this much distance. If then
Mm.
you want to cover that much distance, how many rotations then should you put?
Mm.
So they have to do those mathematical calculations, and then they use loops for repetition. They use sequencing, and they are introduced to concepts like procedures, multitasking. They are able to
Mm.
differentiate between variables and constants, and
Mhm.
other programming concepts that are really useful for an introduction to programming and coding.
Mhm.
So on this slide, there is one of our students, Marlon. He is just showcasing his project. If you can just play the video.
Yeah.
So Marlon identified the problem whereby he wanted to make a sanitizer where he built it from scratch and programmed it. That's him in action.
Mhm.
So he on the in the other video, he's explaining his own project.
You can record
Mhm.
yourself talking about your whole, explaining
Mhm.
what you did with this.
It's a sanitizer, electronical sanitizer.
So we need to
Yes, he built it himself and programmed it.
Okay.
I made a sanitizer, and it greets you when you put your hand there.
Mhm. It says hello and good boy.
And I programmed it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he used blocks of code to program the
Mhm.
movement of the motor and the
Okay.
interaction between the motor and the sensor.
Interesting.
Uh,
Okay.
okay, so what we've realized is that when students actually complete module one, they always want more, and we were thinking, what can we do to keep them going to? So we came up with a continuation module, which is Introduction to Electronics. Here, learners are introduced to basics of electronics and microcontrollers. So they use wires, they use a breadboard, and then they can actually understand resistance, current flow, by using the Arduino microcontroller to control the flashing of LEDs and so on. So this one is exciting because they are able to build their own projects and they are able to choose their own teams, and it's just a lot of excitement in this module too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Or another need we have noticed is that like there's those ones who are in the industry that also want to learn new skills, and then a library can also be a good platform whereby they can those ones who are in the industry can come and upscale their skills. They can come and practice with real industrial applications. So this module 3 is called industrial automation, which is of course a little bit more advanced, and it introduces industrial automation. So if you see in this video, they're using Simulink, which is able to build a physical system in the software and then be able to uh, send the code to a physical system and see your simulation acting out in the real environment. Okay. So this one uses pneumatics, which is air that drives cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's very good. Very good. So these three models is each model is for 8 sessions. So they are
Yes.
okay. So
Yeah. So there is a series of eight workshops that are organized for someone to start from the beginning to the end, and then there's certain levels of competencies that
Mhm.
should be accomplished.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Another need that we saw was that the learners that are much younger, like age 6 to 10, they also needed something to keep them busy. So we adopted robots that are called Dash from Wonder Workshop. This one uses Blockly. It's a form of coding that also uses blocks of code. It's similar to Scratch, and it
Mhm.
comes with challenge cards that can be able to be followed by a learner of this young, and
Mhm.
they're very instructive and very practical. So if you see in this simple demo, you can see how the challenge cards are used.
Oh, sorry, that
Uh,
was too
uh,
fast. Oh,
yes, okay. Yes, so first you have to connect the dash to the tablet, and then the learners will follow the challenge cards. Like here, the instruction says you have to change the lights of dash to different colors before he takes off. So, so once the top, once you start, when the top button is pressed, they should change from yellow,
that,
red, green, and then it
yeah.
should take off. Yeah, this is just a simple demo to show this code. So you
But
see, if you if you press the top button, then the code should
at the
execute.
see the colors on the side, eh? Yeah,
Yes,
it's
y-
green, red, yeah, green, yellow, and sound.
yes, and then and then this one is very exciting for the young ones, and they really just enjoy think that they can be able to give instructions to Dash, and Dash will just act out as they have instructed.
And it looks very easy, yeah? Um, do you think we can also use that in the kindergarten with kids from 6 years old or 5? I don't
It's
know.
it's very much suitable for learners in kindergarten as well, and it's a useful tool for those ones because they find it's versatile. It can be able to do different actions. It can be able to say different
Mm.
sounds that are learner friendly, especially for those young learners such as in kindergarten. Yes.
Sounds very good.
Yeah.
So,
So over the years, we in our partnership with the Goethe-Institut, we had also some media coverages. Like this clip is from the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation. If you
Imagine
can
using
just play it.
robots as a form of study every day. Wouldn't that be fun? Recently, the Goethe-Institut Namibia, in collaboration with the Minds in Action group, introduced educational activities for learners using robotics to solve problems.
The activity workshops that will run for the next 12 weeks will expose children to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They use LEGO Mindstorms EV3 robots to educate learners about the application of discipline to programming and practical problem solving. NBC News caught up with some of the children in the action.
This can help with the design and technology because usually in design and technology we write much bigger pages of writing and drawing the structure before we actually build the structure. If we were able to do this on a computer, it would be much easier to build it and program it. So we would be able to learn much more.
When I'm big, I can build things like be an engineer.
According to the founders, this type of learning for children helps them to learn faster.
The response is the hype is high. The kids are excited. They want to be in the program. The parents are also excited. So we are just looking for funding so that we kick out the program the whole country.
One of the parents that accompanied her child is happy with the program.
And I think this is something that would be great to put into schools because you can actually apply the concepts in a different way. I think they don't realize that they're actually doing complicated calculations, and if there could be a little bit more hands-on learning in schools, I think it would really benefit teachers and the students.
For this program, children will learn how to work in teams, have the opportunity to earn leadership skills, and apply their minds to critical problem solving.
did you see the face of that young girl? How excited she was.
They get very excited, and that is also what motivates us as coaches. So when the learners actually build their own projects and they are happy and they are learning,
Yeah.
it's very much exciting. If you want to find out more information about this initiative, you can visit the Goethe-Institut Namibia website and as well as the Mindsinaction website. And we also have a Facebook page, and there has been some other publications as well that you can be able to see.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that marks the end of our presentation. I thank you very much for this platform.
yeah. Thank you very much, Ndaudika. And I hope you have got now an idea what it means, robotics in libraries. Thank you much again, Ndaudika. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.